Episode 95! So close to that 100 mark! Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? Let's find out! We got Moon Knight, we got Sacrificers, and we have the new Ghost Machine, the Rook Exodus. Let's find out right now. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we ranting out about movies, television shows, and comic books, and the occasional board game. But yeah, my name is Frank Zanca. I am your host. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. And yeah, we're going to get into these comics. But before we do, remember to give me a like and a subscribe if you can. If it's your first time here, then welcome. Hopefully you're into comics or you're into comic book movies and want to see kind of what's up next for Marvel or the independents, etc. Because, Netflix and everybody else keeps purchasing, comic book things to create for content. And if you are a budding writer or novelist or filmmaker, I am going to be doing a class because I am a working line producer as well. In fact, I do have another film coming up in Los Angeles. I'm going to have to fly out, which is funny because I moved to Atlanta to shoot out here, and I'm going to be going back to LA to shoot a movie out there. And but anyway, we're going to be doing that in May. So I figured before I left, I could squeeze in a class. So I'm going to be doing a course on writing to a budget and budgeting, scheduling, crewing, basically how to produce a low-budget film. And then my buddy will be coming in to do a little bit of stuff about financing. So it's going to be a great course. 6 hours broken up into 2 days. And if you are bringing somebody with you, you will get a $30 discount for both of you, the person you're bringing and yourself, and who or more, depending on. But anyway, let's jump into Moon Knight and see how Jed MacKay is dealing with the death of Moon Knight, because that's how this thing starts. The other regular Moon Knight series ended with his death, and we have the Midnight Mission that's being run by a couple of vampires. Of course, that's what their vampires do, is run stuff. But Tigra from the West Coast Avengers was dating him, Mark Spector, and is taking his death pretty hard. And then there's his brother through Khonshu, the other fist of Khonshu, named Hunter's Moon. And now we have this other Moon Knight who is kind of taking over the mantle without anybody's permission, and nobody knows who this person even is. But everybody who's alive and knows or knew Mark and cared about Mark is taking this very personally, and they want to find out who this person is, especially when he is threatening them. So that's what we're going to jump into, and we see that right off the bat that Tigra and Hunter's Moon are on the move in the middle of the day, and they make fun of the fact that he's called Hunter's Moon, not Hunter's Sun, or whatever. Jed MacKay loves to use this storytelling device where he has each one of the characters in front of a psychologist. So the story is told half and half. It's told with the action of what's going on, and then the psychologist talking to whichever character they're focusing on. And we've done this now with 4 issues, and that trope has got to stop, Jed. All right, we've seen it 3 times now. You can't keep using the same storytelling mechanism over and over and over again. It's already old at 4. If you keep going to 6, 7, 10, where everybody's going to this psychologist over and over again, it's just going to get old real fast. So anyway, we have that discussion with Hunter's Moon and the psychologist. And of course, they're talking about, him losing, quote unquote, his brother, but there's more to it as things go on. I kind of like this page a lot. It shows, this is where they say the Hunter's Son thing. But it shows them jumping down and continuously jumping down till they're in front of the building where they track this Moon Knight to, and it's where Moon Knight died, where Mark Spector died. And he's like, yeah, of course he made his thing here because his headquarters, because he knew that we wouldn't come looking in a place where we had a tragedy. And I thought that was pretty good too. But anyway, then while the psychologist thing is going on, he tells the psychologist a story about this Moon Knight of the 1800s or whatever else, because when he fought the other Moon Knight, or the fake Moon Knight, I don't know what you would call it, the imposter Moon Knight, whatever. Whenever he fought that person, he recognized the fighting style, and he has all the other Moon Knights in his head. Okay, so all of the past Moon Knights, their how they fought, what they knew, he knows it all. So he gets this Inception thing going on. But anyway, so there was the thing he fought had the same thing, and it was a follower of what's the god of the Hindu, Kali. So it was a follower of Kali. So they go in there and they're looking around, and Tigra is not happy. She is giving the non-happy face with the bared fangs. And we go on and on about the fact that he's recognizing Kali, and she says, well, are you really pissed off about the fact that this other Moon Knight is taking over Mark's thing, or is there something else? And then we switch back to the non-happy face, and she sniffs out an early warning device in there. And he's like, I didn't see it. And she goes, that's because I see it. That's why you brought me, because I can see this kind of thing. And they said, well, what should we do? Should we go out and, get our backup? And she's like, nope. Might as well just let them know we're coming. And she just rushes out into the warning device. And, of course, it alerts the other Moon Knight. And then we switch back to the psychologist, and he's like, no, my problem isn't even with the fact that the person is taking over for Moon Knight. It's the fact that we all sacrifice something to be a Fist of Khonshu, and this person sacrificed nothing, and he's just taking over the mantle that he did not earn. So there's that. Meanwhile, the other Moon Knight, who is in black, that's how you can tell he's not the Moon Knight, sees the early warning thing, and he's going to go out and fight with them. And the artwork is decent. It's definitely moody. So, yeah, we have this impending thing coming. We're back at the psychologist saying the same stuff. And then the fight stuff happens. And they kind of get between them, and he's blocking everything. And he's like, well, how do you know to block me? And he's like, I know your fighting style. And he's like, well, we never really fought before. He's like, yeah, but my ancestors have, or the other Fists of Khonshu have, and you are a follower of Kali. And he's like, oh, you know who I am. That's great. Back to the psychologist stuff, where really nothing new happens, and Tigra is owning him. So, and he's not happy about that either. Of course, not. We got plenty of wacha, and they really have him, kind of cornered, where Tiger's attacking from the front and he's attacking from the back. So the guy really has no shot in hell. So he takes off his mask, and we find out that it's this character called the Shroud. I have no clue. This is supposed to be a big reveal, and I have no clue. I have no clue who that character is. And I guess when he fought Tigra in the past, he stuck something up her nose so she couldn't get his scent. And she says, well, that's why you did that, because you knew I would have your scent, because we were part of the same group, the West Coast Avengers or whatever else. I need to look him up, because I have not a clue who this character is, the Shroud. Not a clue. Will it make a good film or television show? Yeah, I really like this. The last Moon Knight television show was not good. But this is great that we have this death, and now we have... I love when... Because he's going to come back, But during this period of time, when he is not in his own book, we have this offshoot happen where we have people dealing with the grief. We have this other threat coming in. So at least there's stuff going on with the death has repercussions to things. And that's, we know he's going to come back, but at least we have, this other storyline kind of taking place at the same time, which is what I like if you're going to do that gimmick that's been overused in comics like forever. All right, so let's jump into the Sacrificers number 7. So this is about a world that's ruled by the gods. And the gods are sun and moon and harvest and, water. And, so you have, like Poseidon and stuff like that. But they're not called that. But they're called this other, we never see like humans in this thing. It's all animal creatures. And the main character is a pigeon creature who was sent away by his parents. Because each family had to donate a sacrifice. And the father treated him pretty badly because he didn't want to the family get attached to the child that they would be sacrificed, which is pretty harsh. So he really had no life. He got beat up a lot. And when he got to where we were supposed to be sacrificed, instead they fed them candy, and they were very happy with all the other sacrifices. And there was this orca type female creature, and they became friends, and suddenly now that person didn't come back. She was killed. So they were all very hopeful, but the whole thing was that they wanted them to feel hopeful and feel happy, because when they pierced their brains and got the juice out of it that they fed to the gods, then one color it would be if they were happy, and another color that wouldn't, it's if there was fear, then it was kind of garbage, because the gods are using it to stay young. So basically they're getting this happy juice from these sacrifices to stay young. And the daughter had something to prove and followed the person that actually made the juices, and she got into a fight with them, and the dude killed her pet, and then basically killed her. We thought she was dead because she got the same spike in the head, but somehow she survived but lost her powers, and the pigeon guy ended up drinking it, and now he has her powers. So she is not in good shape right now. And instead of going back to the pigeon, at least in portion of this, which I think is a mistake, we only focus on the princess because she is the daughter of the sun and the moon. Okay, so we start off with the orca girl that's dead, and she's not looking real good. They basically just threw the body away. This kingdom that did send the sacrifice, which is that orca girl, is being decimated by these huge tidal waves. So they call the god of water, which is not called Poseidon, but it looks very similar. They said, Lord, help us. We gave you the sacrifice and you're destroying our entire city. And he's like, it's not me. I ain't doing it. And they're like, well, help us. And he's like, all right, I'll help you. So he goes to like the corner and sees this, the tidal waves happening. He's like, what the hell? So I like how he just kind of formed out of the statue too. I thought it was kind of cool. But anyway, so this thing, and he's like, stop it. We find out that that's the moon goddess, and she is just not happy. She is just not happy. I think that whole city is gone. So I guess she realizes what's going on with the daughter, with her daughter, the princess, but I guess she doesn't know where she is, but the fact that she's missing, I guess she's just doing a temper tantrum. So we have the princess is being tracked by these monsters that I guess belong to the guy who makes the elixir, and she's kind of doing Lord of the Rings, where she's kind of hiding in the tree or below the roots of the tree, and yeah, she's kind of looking very emaciated. Obviously has some kind of a hole in her head too. So she's trying to climb up the cliff, and there's a whole bunch of thorns there. There's a lot of torture porn here. So she is climbing up there. She's getting pierced by the thorns. they're going into her feet, all this stuff. She finally makes it to the top, and she thinks that she found some kind of food in the tree. But boy, is she in trouble. She eats the berries on the tree and realizes, yeah, it kind of sucks. So she spits the shit out, but the whatever that goop comes out, it's like black tar or whatever, comes out and attacks her, and I guess it's like a big monster. So the monster like bites her leg and all this stuff, and she tries to get away, but no, it goes into her mouth, so she's like swallows it, and then she falls off a cliff. and that's the end of the issue. What the hell? What the hell is going on here? Why did we have to see this poor girl get demolished? In every sense of the word, she's literally on the run and had absolutely nothing good happen to her the entire time. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, the whole idea obviously can't be done in a film or TV show because you have everything. You don't have no human characters. They're all animals and gods and stuff like that. So it'd have to be some kind of a cartoon. And it's very dark, too, so it's very adult. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but I really don't think this could be translated into a film or television show. But it would have to be an adult cartoon. That would be the only way. And I just don't know if that would sell. So, we'll see. But so far, it's good. It's just kind of, I'm waiting for it to jump back on track here, because this one issue is a little weird. All right, let's jump into Rook Exodus. This is by Jeff Johns, who normally writes for DC. He also did like the Stargirl TV show. He also wrote the really bad, I think he wrote and produced the really bad Green Lantern movie with what's his face? I forgot his name. Ryan, whatever. And so anyway, this is their new Ghost Machine imprint from an Image. So there's a whole bunch of number ones that just came out, and this is $3.99, and it's like 40 pages long. And the art in here is, wow, we got some really cool stuff. So this is kind of like Mad Max in a way, meets like Beastmaster. I guess that's one way of saying it. And so we have this apocalyptic world where everybody's left. I guess we've destroyed Earth already, and they've terraformed this other planet, which is called Exodus. I mean, I don't know why you'd go to a planet called Exodus. That didn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm going to a planet where I know I have to leave. I don't know where everybody else is leaving. I don't know. So it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so I guess the terraforming planet maker, is the machine that makes the planet inhabitable, broke. So it's reverting back to its original form. So the terraforming basically didn't work, apparently. So now everybody has to leave. So I guess it is Exodus, but I guess you'd call Planet Exodus after when everybody's leaving. So we have some scavengers around. They wear helmets. A lot of them were, the main character was a farmer. So he's wearing a helmet where he can control birds. And that's why he's called Rook. There's another guy called Swine that's also around. He controls like big boars. And then we're going to meet another character that controls bears. And obviously then on the back, there's a woman that controls wolves, which also kind of looks like Black Panther. But we don't meet her yet. She's not in any of this. So there's a lot of world building in here. And again, it's really, really nice stuff. People are trying to build spaceships to get off the planet, but they're just not working. And they keep blowing up. So then he goes and finds the ones that blow up, and he scavenges whatever's there. And tell me that's not a badass picture. I mean, that's pretty cool. I got it. Look at the artwork there. It's pretty badass. So yeah, so we get to see what he looks like without the helmet on, which is the only one we see. But no, it's not even him. That's right. He gives the guy the first. That's the guy that crashed in the thing. He's got basically a piece of metal through him. We do get to see the other guy without the helmet on, though. But yeah, so he says, don't let them burn up. So he gives him basically pictures. We find out later it's pictures of his family, and we got a big bear, not the city of California either, just a big bear. So he tries to fight the big bear. And I guess he does a good job with it. For the most part, he has his birds attack it. And that's really cool. I mean, that's really cool. So he does. The bird attacks it. The guy dies. And he takes his he has a neat little car that drives around. That's why I'm saying it's kind of like Mad Max. Although that guy looks like the Batmobile in the interior. It kind of looks like Batman there. But again, we got plenty of world building, so so they really had to sit down. The artists really had to sit down and construct what the city would look like, and it had to be a futuristic city and demolished. And again, we get the nice little picture of like the Batmobile-looking car. See, and we kind of see what he looks like. He takes his helmet off, so he's kind of cool looking. And again, he's trying to find swine too. But I guess he lives in this hotel, and every time he scavenges one of the rooms, he puts an X on it. So, there's nothing in here anymore. There's no reason for him to do that. So he keeps staying in another room every night where he scavenges whatever food's left in there and things like that. And I guess there's some kind of movie theater, etc. But he opens up the thing, and that's why I was telling you it was the guy's family. That guy that died in the spaceship. But he keeps moving on, and I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly. But yeah, and again, he's kind of looking for swine, and then, there's the swine's guys, the little boars that he controls, and stuff like that, and there's what his helmet looks like. It's pretty cool. I got to say, the whole idea is pretty cool. And I do like this post-apocalyptic world. But I guess they're friends, and they're trying to figure out how to get off the planet, and there's only a certain amount of time to do that because the atmosphere is only going to last a certain amount of time. So there's that. So then we see a flashback of his life as a farmer and the scarecrow and all this stuff, and that's where we get kind of the birds, and then we see this exodus of all these ships. And he's like, "What's going on, Daddy? Daddy, tell me what's going on. We need to leave." And he's like, "No, we're not leaving." So instead, he lights everything on fire. So he kills himself and leaves the other guy, his son, with nothing. So there's that. So he hasn't really had a good life, and that's when I guess he decides that he's going to go to the other planet or whatever. So I guess that was Earth, and then he goes to the other planet. I guess he was trying to leave him the insurance money or whatever, or forcing him to leave, to go to the other planet. So yeah, so he gets the helmet. I guess they give the helmet to a certain people to do a certain job that have to do with animals needed. Except now, it's a post-apocalyptic. He needs weapons and things to that effect, and that all looks pretty cool. And his swine's telling him, that he's in trouble. He's getting attacked by the bears. His boars are getting attacked, and he's telling his boars to run. And there's a whole lot of bad stuff going on. And he's meeting the guy who controls the bears and who kills him. So Swines ends up dead. So we know that he's going to be going after the Rook guy very, very soon. Very, very soon. So yeah, I love the world. It's great. This is really, really good. I think this is the highlight of Ghost Machine for every reader. I think every reader was looking forward to this particular one because there's like 5 of them come out. I also have a thing called Red Coat that I'm going to read tonight. Would this make a good film or television show? Hell yeah. So far, I mean, we already have another Mad Max thing coming out, and then something like this. And, post-apocalyptic's kind of getting in, because I think we also have something else, like Borderlands coming out. That's kind of looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think post-apocalyptic's in right now. So I think it would be, and the idea of the helmets and everything else, it's a really good idea. Sacrificers, I don't know, man. I kind of want this to get back on track and give me a story, because it's kind of getting off the deep end a little bit. And Moon Knight, yeah, this has been really good so far, and I want the psychologist to go away. That's my only critique here. We've seen it 4 issues. There's no reason to keep using the same mechanism over and over and over again. But overall, all 3 of them are good. I just wish Sacrificers just tell us the story of the pigeon guy, or at least introduce him. If you're going to show this torture porn continuously with the princess, at least give us something else as well. So anyway, that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading these ones. So tell me what you're collecting. Did you guys collect any other the Ghost Machine stuff? I didn't get Geiger or anything like that. I wasn't. That's an older. It's a reboot book, I think, and it didn't appeal to me. But anyway, let me know what you guys are reading. Also, remember to give me the thumbs up, give me the like, give me the subscribe, give me the middle finger, whatever. But if you're not subscribed, why the hell not? It's free. Ring that little bell. Help me grow the channel out. Any kind of engagement you do with me helps me with the algorithm. So even if you type in "you're an asshole," it'll help me. Not that I haven't been told that in the last 24 hours. And if you are a budding writer or filmmaker, come out and join us for the class. It's going to be, I'm going to pour a lot of. I'm not going to get very detailed, but I'll get detailed enough where you'll know what you're talking about if you ever start doing your own sets, things to that effect. And obviously you're going to be able to ask questions and stay in touch with me even after the class. So anyway, that's the story there. The link below is actually the description below has the link in it to Eventbrite, so you can go check that out. Also, my reel is on it. Some of the trailers for stuff that I've done is on there and things like that if you want to check that out. Again, the link is in the description below. All right, and check out some of my other videos as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the views, and hopefully I was just slightly entertaining. All right, and also if you're into card games at all, Mark Spears, who does cover art for Marvel, DC, and Image, like Spawn and things like that, he and I are working on a card game right now. This is the expansion we're doing, like a Dark Oz, but it's called Myth Lords, and you're going to be able to play as classic monsters. So it'll be Dracula, Frankenstein, etc. And you'll be able to take over locations like the Ghost Ship and stuff to that effect. It's going to be lots of fun. But anyway, we're going to be launching that on BackerKit in next month. I'm just waiting for my samples to come in. It's going to be it's going to be lots of fun. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next episode. 96. We're getting so close to 100. I don't know. Should I do something special for 100? I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.